Hello, football family. Welcome into Huddle It Up Films. The busy offseason of the Ravens continues as the legal tampering period for free agency starts on Monday. The start of free agency officially starts Wednesday. So here we are. It's upon us. Joining me tonight for a little while, Mr. Alec Polianis. He has the wifey coming back from a hiatus. So only joining us for a short time tonight. Alec, what's going on?
Doing great, man. It was so good seeing you last week. Got my hoodie, got my
Yeah,
swag,
buddy.
and man, it was neat to hang out. I know normally we do Saturday together, but it was nice to hang out a little bit on Friday. See, what was it? The corners run, yeah.
Yep.
So good
Yeah.
times.
Even made a note, Alec had a negative comment about one of the corners, so I put it in my notes.
That's right.
But yeah, Alec and I got to watch the combine one day of the combine, a few hours together. Alec has got his hoodie looking sharp, and also with his 3D printer.
I
Man,
know.
look at the Huddle It Up Films. I guess it's called a Mike flag,
Yeah,
according to Alec. How did that go?
dude, it was easy. Once you sent me the logo, I was able to make it pretty quick. It probably took me like 5 minutes to design it, and then printer did it in like 40. So if anybody wants one, you know how to reach out to Jason. Maybe I'll send you something in the mail.
Yeah, if anybody else has a mic that they want. But Alec, in all seriousness, Alec has offered to make some doodads, dare I say,
Yeah.
for the Huddle It Up Films family. All the members you see scrolling below, obviously, first dibs on that. But and maybe some drink coasters. I don't know, man. We'll come up
Yeah,
with some
we could
ideas.
make a football's family coaster. That's easy.
Yeah,
Happy to
see,
make a
there you
bunch of
go.
those.
There you go. Send them out to the people in the chat, like Jay Z. Good evening, Jason. Hope all is well with you and the fam. Football is family. Football is family. It was fun watching some of the combine reactions from these guys, former coaches and trainers, and everybody else that have them uh, prepared for this combine and in their football journey. And they're rooting them on in their house like it's their own son because it's that important to those guys and the bonds that football and sports can bring, Alec. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, man. It's definitely a big time in their lives, you know?
Big time. Lovely. TLC, the lovely Chris. Evening all. Hey, work hubby. Hello to my work wifey. Also, Ashley, royalty. Most heartwarming Twitter account out there, dare I say. Always giving good vibes. Got Jim 20 Eyes with the high all. What's going on, Jim? My guy, I Oris Taurus, flashed his Huddle It Up Films t shirt on his stream. Appreciate you, man. Love you so much. Appreciate you so much. The head VP saying hi to everybody in the chat. We got Jackson. Jackson is in there. Party. Hey, Jackson, start a free agency. You know, the Ravens want to be active. It was pretty clear from Bishotti's press conference that, we're going to use this money that we carried over, about 10 million. What do we got in the cash bar? I forgot to look. We have a little bit of room to work, but we
Yeah.
gotta we gotta make some more room, Alec.
Yeah, it depends on how you look at it. But you can get it like 50 million pretty quick.
It's there, very, yeah. You can be. It just depends on how it's going to go. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Dario, Mr. Rojas. Good evening, Jason. Good evening, everyone. Purple power, peace, the entire football family. Okay, I like that emoji. That's a new one. That is a new one. Cosmonaut Project sliding in. Yeah, so we got everybody in here. It looks good. The comments, of course, will generate for themselves. Mike M. What's up, Mike? It's good seeing you in here. Zhang, Dwiz back in here. This is beautiful, bro. Beautiful. So busy. Is Linda J in here? The Linda J is in. Yeah, man. Tracy, love seeing you, Tracy. Good evening to you. So yeah, I love just seeing all the names in the chat and recognizing you at the beginning. King Blaze. Yeah, it's awesome. Sometimes I miss people. I'll go back and I'll see it afterwards. So, Alec, I only have you for a short time. So let's jump into it. Um, Last week, this time, EDC spoke at the combine, Alec, and was asked about the Lamar Jackson contract extension, which would reset the market for Lamar, would make him the highest paid quarterback again, would give him the same structure Bishotti suggested, same structure as last time. We're just going to up your money and it'll allow us to lower the cap hit. When asked at the combine how confident he was if he was confident he could work something out with Lamar. EDC said, I definitely am. Well, here we are. 5 days from the start of the free agency, unofficial start, and still nothing is done. Lamar Jackson has a $74.5 million cap hit in both this year and next year, 2027. The total team cap, by the way, is about $301 million. So you're looking at Lamar Jackson, if nothing was done, he would take up about 25% of the cap, 1/4 of the cap, 75 million. Excuse me, it's basically a 300 million. The max restructure. So if they can't bring Lamar to the table, the most they can do is restructure 40 million of that. But of course, that would push more money to the back end. That would make it harder for them to sign free agents. The best thing for the Ravens, and honestly for Lamar, even though he doesn't, you can't really read whether he's motivated to do it, would be just to extend him, give him his raise, lower the cap hit instead of pushing money into the future. So, Alec, what is your read on this situation? Seems kind of crucial, and Bisciotti made it clear that he wants to get this deal done before free agency so EDC could be aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, of course, that's what he wants to do. I guess to me, like, obviously, this sounds good to me. I like the idea of getting him extended sooner rather than later. The number just keeps going up, right? But it takes Lamar having to tango. I'm not too worried about it because I think he will sign and they will create the flexibility they need to do what they want to do. I don't think they're mutually exclusive. Like, so if it's not done in the next 5 days, I'm not going to be like, oh no, like I'm just not that concerned. I think they're going to do what they're going to do. And it's regardless of what happens with Lamar, because they know like it will get done. So yeah, I don't know. It's just like, yeah, obviously I wanted that. The funny part is if you do a max restructure, like you described, that gives you more cap relief than they would realistically get an extension. Therefore, in a way, like the extension is like less good from like this year perspective, but it's better for like long-term planning.
A lot better. And I mean, they're not forced to do a max restructure.
Right.
The max they could do is 40 million, but they could just say, hey, let's just do 20 million, make it, kind of like what they would do. That number would be if they just extended Lamar. So,
yeah.
So when you say you're confident, though, you're confident that Lamar is going to get his raise. He's going to come to the negotiating table and he's going to extend. Or do you think they're going to have to be forced to restructure him?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm confident that they'll get the deal done eventually. I don't know if it's going to get done by the start of the league year, but they also don't need to get done by the start of the league year. Like they have $30 million in space to maneuver with. They could go a couple days into the league year if they wanted to.
They really could, but I think they want to know how much money they have to work with.
But they do know. That's what I'm getting at is like they know what the numbers are if they restructure or if they extend. Like they already know the framework, right? So it's not a mystery. They can operate under those assumptions.
Okay.
That's how I see it. Like I don't know. I'm like I have this weird stance when it comes to free agency. Like everyone's like, oh, you got to keep Linderbaum because like he was already here. And I'm like, he's gone. Okay, if you add him in, he might as well be a new guy, right? I understand there's like continuity to some extent, but like you have to view it as just like you're getting this guy that doesn't already exist on your team. That's how I see it. So it's just, yeah. I mean, it's a blank slate right now. It's how I don't know. I just look at it in a very like. I don't know, ones and zeros way.
Yeah, practical. Like Linderbaum's not part of the team right now, officially.
Yeah, no, he's not
a free agent.
And you have to, in my opinion, you have to deem if you want him on the team for the next 4 years as if he is a new player, not because he was already here, because you're paying market rate, like you're getting no deal whatsoever. Mm-hmm. So you have to just be critical about it that way.
Pixel came in. So question from Heather. Not sure if the wifey came home. Question: would you sign Lindy or go after? I guess you're talking about Vega Iwane, who is a guard in the draft. I probably jacked up his name. That's okay, Heather. Yeah, it's Vega, Vega. If you want to call him shorten his name, Vega. These players play two different positions, and I don't think to answer Heather's question directly. I don't think you go into free agency with a hole at one of the guard spots, hoping to draft Vega. Like, you have got to fill that guard spot. You have got to fill that center spot, whether it's Linderbaum or somebody else. And some edge rushers are popping up unexpectedly, getting cut. Those are the three. Those are the three positions, Heather, that I believe that we have to address in free agency: a guard spot, a center spot, an edge spot. So, yeah, these two players, they play different positions, Alec.
Yeah, they do. They do play different positions. I agree with you. They have to have a plan at each spot going into the season. I think it looks like one center and one guard. I think it's acceptable to say your third round guy is going to assume to get the job. I'm not saying that you don't challenge him. I'm not saying you don't get a free agent, because I see it like this. If you get a free agent guard, there's a chance, if you draft Vega, right, that you have a competition with that guard and Emory Jones. I think that's fair. So, like, that's how I see it. I think they're going to sign 2 people to this offensive line, and as a minimum, as a floor, and then 3 is possible too. But I do assume that a draft pick will be made, and I think for like the long term viability of the roster construction, it should be made.
Right.
And they don't have to start right away, but you need to. You're going to have a couple interesting signings, I think, this year where you. And we do this every year. Where you hedge. Like, one thing that's going to be really interesting is what they do with the safety position. There's a lot of safeties in this draft. There's a lot of safeties in free agency. So it's like, do they dilly daddle? Do they immediately go get a guy like Ardarius? Do they wait to fill it in the draft? Do they wait until after the draft? Because there's still going to be plenty of safeties available after the draft, but like, they better do it, unlike last year.
Right. Just, depends how much money we have, right? No, just bringing that back at you, Alec. Just bringing that back. Yeah. But yeah, Heather, I want to go into the draft with 0 needs. So yeah, if we don't sign Linderbaum, there are some good free agent centers available. Buffalo just cut theirs. Drew Dahlman for the Bears, I believe, is a free agent as well. Connor McGovern, the Bills center. So one way or the other, I think we need to come out of free agency with a center, whether that's Linderbaum or somebody else. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat too, Heather. Appreciate that. I got into the question there. I don't even know if I thanked you. So yeah, Alec, again on the Lamar topic, 0 worry from you. The restructure would push this money into the future. It would be dead money, nothing that they could do about it, but they don't have to have Lamar's permission to do that. It's money he's already been paid. It's guaranteed money already on the books. So they're not affecting Lamar's money at all. It's just basically moving dollar signs around from year to year.
So here's my final statement on the matter, Jason, just to be like super clear with everyone.
Okay.
He's on the team for the next 2 years. If he plays ball and we get a deal done, he's on the team for more years. If he leaves this team under some circumstance, we're screwed, right? Like, we're going to have a reset year. And guess what? All those void years will be on that reset year. We'll be fine. We'll figure it out. So, like, there'll be a time sometime in the future where Lamar Jackson's not on the team, be it retirement or be it, him leaving the team in distress. And at that time, there might be some dollars we need to account for, and then we'll do it. And I'm just hoping that's not anytime soon.
Jackson's God, I appreciate your clarification on that. Hey, if he doesn't come to the table and he, for whatever reason wants out of Baltimore 2 years, who cares about the void years after that? Because we're going to suck and we're going to need a new quarterback. So yeah.
You're going to get it. You'll probably end up getting a quarterback. My guess is you end up getting a quarterback that's like, a rookie, or you get like one of those bridge quarterbacks. So it's like they're gonna be like lower against the cap anyways. So like it won't be like that debilitating. I mean, look at the Broncos. They were like so close to making the Super Bowl, and they had all that Russell money. It's not a big of a deal.
Gotcha. Jackson is confident. He's saying that probably something little holding the deal up, because they would have traded Lamar already. I don't know.
Lamar's waiting for a basketball game to happen to get EDC, hot and bothered again, or whatever it was.
That's what I love about Lamar is you just never know. He does things his own ways. Want to say what's up to ISO too, man. What is up, ISO? It's good seeing you, man. It's really good seeing you. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting situation here. This offseason, Alec, has not been short on the excitement. We had the whole Harbaugh turnover, the entire new coaching staff. Like
Yeah.
even when Harbaugh was hired, we kept Rex Ryan as the defensive coordinator. So there was at least consistency there. We got new places everywhere. In this, it's just, man, it just like it. The news doesn't stop, man.
I mean, and they got that new like conditioning coach from the rugby team. Crazy stuff, man. Pretty cool.
Yeah. What's your take on that move? It seems like a pretty good get.
When the team losing a guy is in shambles, and wishing him well, and very upset to lose him, I'm always excited about that. Yeah, I don't know.
Like
he wasn't even on my radar a day before, right? Like I have no idea who this guy is. I have no reason to feel one way or the other. But the other team's upset to lose him, so I'm guessing it's pretty good.
Yeah, I had never even heard of the team, the All Blacks team, rugby team.
New Zealand,
for that guy to move halfway across the world, like that seems pretty extreme. Chris, member for 6 months, is wishing a happy birthday to the queen of the chat, Heather.
Nice.
When is Heather's birthday?
Happy birthday,
when
Heather.
is Heather's birthday? And Zhang, also happy early birthday to my sister, Heather.
They're
Now my
pulling in,
son's
man.
birthday is on the 10th. On the 10th. So yeah.
Hey Jason, they're pulling in, so I'm gonna step away for a minute.
All right.
Right.
You may be back. I'm gonna
Yeah.
pull you down and just take over, bud.
Okay.
I'll see you soon, though.
But I'll come back in the link if I'm good. I'll let you know.
Okay.
Good night. Good night, everybody. Sorry it was short.
It's okay, buddy. We'll catch you soon. We'll catch you soon. Heather, by the way, my son's birthday is on the 10th. He is a Pisces as well. So yeah, aside from the LAMAR contract, something to talk about this week is the Tyler Linderbaum contract. We did a compilation of free agent rankings. Tyler Linderbaum is constantly in the top 3, top 5. I think he was like the 3rd ranked free agent overall. If you took all the free agent lists, you threw them together, Tyler Linderbaum, number 3 overall. Reportedly, he's going to make north of $20 million if you believe the talks coming out of the combine. And that's when people talk. The combine is great for people like me who want to see the guys move around, how they perform in the field drills next to their peers, see who's the smoothest, see if the tape adds up with the times that they post. But really, it's about free agency prep, trade prep, all that other stuff. And Tyler Linderbaum, man, if he's going to make over $20 million, it's going to make it tough for the team to keep him. Where do you put the value at a center first of all? A center is not an edge rusher. It's not a tackle. It's not a wide receiver. It's not a cornerback. Said last week, guys who can't hack it at tackle get moved inside to guard or center. Guys who aren't physically strong enough to play guard or long enough or don't have enough game, they are moved into center. So the center position is undervalued for a reason. And you see the top center contracts in AAV, average annual value. Right now, Creed Humphrey is number 1 at $18 million. Cam Jurgens, $17 million. Drew Dahlman, $14 million. Eric McCoy, $12 million. Luke Wattenberg, $12 million. So there are reports out there that Tyler Linderbaum is going to get money north of $20 million, $22 million, $23 million, which would absolutely not just be a market resetting deal, but it would blow away the contracts of the other centers, especially a guy like Creed Humphrey, who's been clearly the best at his position, winning the All-Pros and everything else that he's done, been the Pro Bowl starter in the AFC for years. So Tyler is going to command some major coin. Not sure what to think about this. I love Tyler Linderbaum. I want Lamar to have the best offensive line possible. I want Derrick Henry to have the best offensive line possible. I think the Ravens need to overdo it on the offensive line. But man, instead of paying Tyler Linderbaum $20+ million, you can get a starting center. Mentioned they're sprinkling out all over the place now. People saving money at center. You can get a starting center for much less than that, who is a good player, not as good of a run blocker as Tyler Linderbaum. He's one of the best run blocking centers in the game. His pass protection goes from good to okay, has some rough games. So you can get a center who's just as good of a pass blocker as Tyler Linderbaum for much cheaper than that. The other side of the coin is the continuity with Lamar, the leadership Tyler Linderbaum provides, the toughness. We saw him get rolled up a few years ago. It was the same game that Ronnie Stanley got banged up. Ronnie Stanley got kicked in the knee. He missed like over a month and really had to work his way back in. Tyler Linderbaum got rolled up on, ankle bent up all kinds of way. That man missed like a game and was back. Tough player, leader, has been a good first round pick for us. Remember, the Ravens traded Hollywood Brown to get that pick. So Eric DeCosta's first pick ever as Ravens GM was Hollywood Brown for 3 years, Tyler Linderbaum for 4 years. Not bad, EDC, on that string of picks and what you turned that first round pick you had into. But yeah, man, like I'm really torn here because I don't believe in paying centers big money for the reasons I've outlined. But at the same time, I want to build a wall for Lamar. So I just feel like there's other ways to skin the cat. I think the Ravens, what they should do is hold firm in their offer for Tyler Linderbaum. If they offered him $20 million a year, say they offered him 4 years, $80 million, and he turns it down and takes a deal for 22 elsewhere, then I think you have to live with it. You have to live with your conscience. I think that's part of the reason DeCosta mentioned out loud to the press that they offered Linderbaum a market-setting deal to kind of put the pressure on Tyler and to say, hey, look, I offered him the best offer we could. We're not lowballing Tyler Linderbaum. We're not being cheap here. If Tyler wants to come back to the Ravens, we're offering him more than a fair deal. So we'll see how that happens. I don't know how confident you can be at this point. They seem far apart. Like, does Linderbaum want to cash in? This is the biggest contract that he'll ever sign, probably. It's that first time you hit free agency and you're still young, you're in your mid-20s. That's your time to cash in. So Tyler has every right to get every bit of money he can to provide generationally for his family. Also, some guys, if you're happy at a workplace, I don't know if many of you probably experienced this out there, but if somebody is offering you more money, slightly more money, and your commute all of a sudden changes, for these guys, they got to get up, leave town, buy a new house and all that other stuff. The Ravens are obviously a well-run organization. Steve Bisciotti gets good grades. So we'll see how this turns out. Just a lot of random thoughts packed into one here. I would love to see Tyler Linderbaum stay, but if he leaves for some just insane high deal, I can't blame him. I can't blame the Ravens. See my guy Garnett checking in. If we can't get Tyler back, let Corey Bullock and a veteran have a competition. Very true. That's one way to slice it. Or you just sign yourself a good veteran for like 10, 12 mil. If you're willing to pay a center, on your team to have a veteran steady presence, like a Cade Mays or one of the other centers that are out there in free agency, just pay one. It just, instead of overpaying for a center, just pay regular market price. So that's kind of my thought on that. Let's see what Afia has to say. Yeah, continuity is great, but anything over 22 million means they should just move on. Yeah, I'm with you, Afia. It's just at some point it becomes too much. Yeah, probably a $20 million deal for Linderbaum. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, you saw the other ones up there, Dario. Creed Humphrey's only making 18. If they offered Tyler Linderbaum 20 million, that is more than a fair deal. Tyler Biadasz, another center that's out there. If Lindy's looking for as much as he said, good call, Jay-Z. Jeff saying 18 to 19 and a half million for a champion and a championship and a Super Bowl is the ultimate goal of a football player, but almighty dollar is more important, i.e. Calais Campbell. Yeah, what happened with Calais? Calais, by the way, a free agent again, grading out great again, the best defensive lineman on his team again, and he'll be 40 years old this season. So if he wants to play, he's still playing at a high level at 39 years old. If I didn't see it for myself, I would have thought that people are just talking out of turn with Calais Campbell. They're trying to pump him up because he's a good guy, Walter Payton Man of the Year and all that. But we got to see it here in Baltimore. Calais can still play. Can he get to the passer and get you more than a handful of sacks? No, probably not. But you're talking about a pro player. Afia, let him go to a bum team with more money if that's what he prefers. Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of teams out there like that, Afia. There are teams like the Raiders who need to spend money to reach the floor. They're not spending enough money. I read a Raiders article about Max Crosby, how that if they traded him, they wouldn't have enough salary on the books. So that's a crazy aspect of it too. Dario thinking he gets 25. See, that'd be insane. You can buy a top guard for that money. Jackson thinks he'll get 23 in the end, or close to 25. Okay. So yeah, plenty of competition for Tyler Linderbaum. You know it's a bad year in free agency too. Another part, if a center is your third ranked free agent, what does that tell you? There's not great wide receivers out there. There's not great edge rushers or tackles out there. There's not a good DB out there, number one corner. If a center is your number one free agent, it just goes to show you the weakness of this class. And that's what makes it believable to me, and I guess many others, that he would be, just thrown a ridiculous amount of money out there. So yeah, kind of tough. Now the other Ravens contract news that came out this week: Zay Flowers, the 5th-year option, the number for his 5th-year option is out there. And I find it interesting. They do a lot of different calculations on how they come up with these numbers. And Zay Flowers is the highest number out of everybody from his draft class. So including the quarterbacks, including Jackson Smith-Njigba, who has turned into an outstanding receiver. Zay Flowers' tag is more expensive than his, more expensive than all of theirs, because of the Pro Bowls he has made. So when you're voting for Ravens Pro Bowls, keep that in mind. No, but in all seriousness, Zay is going to earn his money after 3 great seasons with the Ravens, last 2 totaling over 1,000 yards. What did he get, up over 1,200 this year? Just cruising. One of the better receivers in the league. His 5th-year option is set at $27.3 million. Per, I believe it was Dan Graziano of ESPN. The Ravens are expected to pick that up, and his average annual value would be 13th among wide receivers. So the Ravens have until a day in May. It's in May to make a decision on this, whether to pick up their 5th-year option. ESPN is saying that they expect the Ravens to pick it up, and that makes sense to me. If you're getting somebody for the average price of the 13th ranked wide receiver, even though that's a 1 year, you got to take it all on the chin at once, a $27.3 million cap hit. I think you do that for your number one wide receiver. Like, even if they drafted somebody in April high, like say the 1st round pick, you don't know what that guy is going to be. You draft him with the expectation that he would be a number one receiver, or maybe they get somebody in round 2 that they expect could reach number 1, but you don't know. So I think that with Lamar's most trusted weapon, Zay has been pretty durable for this team. He's played a lot of games. He's come up big in some big games, come up with some moments that he'd like to have back in some big games, ball security issues. But this is a steady player. We run the offense through Zay Flowers. He's shown he's a productive player. $27.3 million for 1 year does not seem like a horrible deal. So he'll be, he was drafted in 2023. That's the first year. 2024, 2025, 2026 would be, this year is his 4th year. And then he would play in 2027 at that $27.3 million if the Ravens decide to pick that up. So I'm curious to see what anybody says about Zay Flowers here in the chat. Yeah, Garnett saying performance escalators due to Pro Bowl. Yeah, all those quarterbacks that were drafted in 2023, all the other position players, Zay Flowers, number 1 among them. You thank Lamar Jackson for that. You can thank some Todd Monken, some Derrick Henry for that. But Zay earned his accolades in his first 3 years with the Ravens. Jim saying Zay earned it. He did. I know Zay he's kind of turned into a polarizing player in the Ravens community. Is he a number 1? Is he worth a new contract? See those kind of talks all the time. Like, I don't know how you define a number 1 wide receiver. Like, top 5, probably not. Would he start and play, 100% of the snaps on all 32 teams? Probably. Like even the Bengals with Chase and Higgins would get him in the slot on that team. So like Zay definitely has earned it, Jim. Definitely agree. Jay-Z saying 5th-year option is an easy yes for me. Zay is our number one wide receiver. Exactly. He's our one receiver. And then it was like I was saying, Jay-Z, even if we draft somebody to potentially take over that spot, you want to have Zay Flowers locked in for 2027. And then you can make the decision from there. If you draft a guy high and he looks like a number one receiver, hell, if Tez Walker breaks out this year and goes nuts and you're like, man, this is a guy we got for 2 more years. Tez Walker, maybe we can extend him. You have some options there, but you don't want to just let Zay go. Afia saying as they should. Zay had to go to 2 Pro Bowls to up his money. Crazy on us. Good for him. Best wide receiver we ever had. Worth every penny. I'm a Derek Mason guy. I don't know. I love Anquan Bolden. I love Derek Alexander back in the day. Zay, yeah. But Derek Mason, I think, was probably my personal favorite. Not saying best or whatever, but Derek Mason is one tough SOB, somebody you don't want to mess with. The out routes that he ran with Flacco's arm, Derek Mason's precision running those routes was damn near unstoppable when we needed it. Cold weather, opposite hash, whatever it was, those two had that kind of chemistry. The Linda J, I'm okay with that for Zay. And Linda, I know, watches the tape. She is very, very astute. I trust in Linda's opinion. Chris, let's see what Chris has to say. EDC about to call Ray and see if he wants to play again for some deer antler spray and some stock options. I would take some stock options from EDC and especially Mr. Big Shotty Bishotti. See what Garnett has to say. Sergeant West, as always, thank you for your service, buddy. Miss you. Love you. Miss the laughs that we had, man. Just a great time. Zay is the weirdest thing to me because he's an elite number. He's an elite number 1, I guess you mean to me. We forced a lot of targets his way, so the numbers should actually be greater than what they are. So, G's saying here, all that gadget stuff that we depended on him for, if we just let him be a pure wide receiver, run routes, he might actually have bigger numbers instead of having his targets taking up on all this motion stuff that we put him on, orbit motion to confuse the defense, find out what the other defense is in. Yeah, I could see that, Garnett. I could see that. My natural instinct is to push back, being like, nah, man, we're giving Zay all the targets that he, can handle. But you put it like that, I can see where you're going. Hey, Black Daniels, peace in the chat, football's family. You know it, man. You know it, Black Daniels. It's great seeing you. Yeah, D Mason, pure technician between the lines. It was a beautiful thing to watch. Some Derek Mason highlights, like not all of them look like highlights, but they were highlights. Like it was tough. He could get open on any kind of cornerback of any kind of level with just his shiftiness and his know-how. And he was a quick guy. Had some speed back in the day when he was with Tennessee. Him and McNair would tear it up. Yeah, Derek Mason dislocated his shoulder and still scored a touchdown against Dallas. Not only that, Garnett, it was the game-winning touchdown. Not only that, I think he dislocated his shoulder like 3 times. Like he would get tackled, that thing would pop out. They would come back to the sideline, pop it back in. Derek Mason went in. That was an epic game on the turf down there at Dallas, the old Dallas Stadium before Jerry World opened up. One of the most courageous performances. And that stands out to me, Garnett. It's probably the reason he's one of my favorite. I just love tough players. Heather, Jason, what do you think about bringing back Kevin Zeitler? There you go. See, this is what I'm talking about. You bring back somebody like Kevin Zeitler, you bring in a veteran guard, and you can bring in a veteran center not named Tyler Linderbaum. You put those two together, you'll probably pay those 2 guys less than you would Tyler Linderbaum and have yourself 2 good players on that line. Have some money left over to really spend on an edge rusher because there are some some pretty high priced edge rushers out there. Let's bring them up. Let's bring them up. Anybody recognize these names? Trey Hendrickson, Cincinnati Bengal, put up 2 big seasons in 23 and 24, was banged up last year, had the contract dispute, was all kind of disgruntled. I think he only had 4 sacks last year, didn't play all the games. All of a sudden, Trey Hendrickson is a free agent, and we know what kind of havoc he can bring on the line. I mean, he would have had a Defensive Player of the Year award to his belt, if not for a guy named Myles Garrett in the same division. Jonathan Grenard, the former Houston Texan, is now a former Minnesota Viking as the Vikings let go of Jonathan Grenard, another experienced, extremely productive player out there at edge. So we were looking at this free agent class, thinking it was kind of weak, and it has been kind of weak. But now we're getting to the point, guys and ladies and gentlemen. We'll see it over the next few days before free agency starts, where teams are going to have to cut some guys to get under the cap and to be cap compliant and to be able to sign their own guys. So what looked like a weak free agent class is still a weak free agent class, but it's going to get stronger as some of these guys are released. And Ravens have a needed edge. You know, Max Crosby's asking price, they might not even trade him. His asking price may be crazy. There's A.J. Brown trade rumors. All kinds of movement is going to be happening within the next few days. Can't wait. But man, I mean, either one of these guys would be. You add a veteran like this to Mike Green and Tavius Robinson, and you draft somebody in this, get somebody talented in this draft, all of a sudden you got yourself a promising edge room that's at least 3 deep, if not 4, depending on who else you add. So, yeah, do I like Draymond Jones? Of course. I'm open to bringing almost any Ravens free agent back. People are like, would you have this guy back? Would you have this guy back? And I'm a yes to anybody that's played well for us. I'm open to have any of those 20 guys back. But what I need first is some star power at the edge and a guard in the center side. So after that, if we have enough money to bring back Owuzie, that's great. If we want to bring Ardarius back, that's great. Anybody from there, you want to bring D-Hop back into the room, that's fine. But let's just get first things first. We need that pass rush. Twiz, who has been the most reliable Raven the last 3 years? Yeah. I mean, it's either Zay Flowers or Lamar Jackson. Derrick Henry's only played, 2 years? Yeah, 2 years. So, yeah, it would have to be Zay Flowers if that's what you're getting at. Roquan's had his ups and downs. Marlon's had his ups and downs. Ricard's been really solid. Stanley, of course, with the injury bug. Tyler Linderbaum's been pretty damn reliable for the last 3 years. So I'm not sure what you're getting at there, Twiz, but yeah, Zay is definitely on the list. So is Linderbaum, I would say. He's definitely been a steady player for us. Travis Jones, but maybe not as impactful. He's kind of turned it on later. Ashley saying she wouldn't be mad at Trey. I mean, yeah. If you would be honest with yourself, Ashley, who do you think is going to be a better player for the next, say, 3 years? Trey Hendrickson, Draymond Jones. You probably have to go with Trey. And yeah, Jay-Z, Grenard got released. And you know what? He put up big numbers in the Brian Flores defense. And I'm going to tell you why that means something to me. Is because Brian Flores' defense gets a lot of sacks, gets a lot of pressure. But how do they do it? They do it with deception. They do it with bringing DBs. They do it in kind of like a Wink Martindale, Rex Ryan style. And we've seen here in Baltimore that those guys who don't put up big sack numbers for us go somewhere else and put up big sack numbers. And why is that? It's because we were always playing games, bringing DBs on the blitz, bringing linebackers on the blitz, bringing safeties on the blitz, and not letting our front 4 guys eat. So Grenard's production in Minnesota under a Brian Flores defense that likes to spread the sacks out, you get a sack type style, just really impressive. And he was good in Houston too. Yeah. So we all of a sudden, Jay-Z, we got some options. Oh, yeah. And Shank. How could I forget? Yeah, Kyle Hamilton. Pretty darn consistent over the last 3 years, too. Good call, Shank. Romy Raven just woke up. What did I miss? Nothing. You missed Alec checking in with us for just a little bit. His wifey's been away for work for like 5 days. Came home, so he checked out. Keeping my eye on his chair. It still looks empty there. Yeah, Chang, you're right. Afia typed a good longer comment, so I want to get to it. I just need EDC to be on top of these moves. It's Hunger Games out here. Yeah, man, it's cutthroat business, $1 billion business. Wait, I don't even remember what that movie was about to note to see if I read the reference correctly. I'm sleepy. I am not a movie watcher, but I know the Hunger Games is about like survival. So yeah, it is about survival and free agency. It's get or get got. Chris. Okay, excellent. Love the joke in there by Chris. That's pretty good. So Zay Flowers, or excuse me, Isaiah Likely. Let me get my Zays right. Was on Kay Adams again, up there shooting it with Kay Adams. When he was on before, he said, "I just want to be able to blossom." Kay Adams tweeted earlier today, "He gone." Um, Likely just wants an opportunity. He said he wasn't recruited heavily out of high school. So he's like smiling when she's asking him about free agency. Isaiah Likely is out of here. And the Ravens aren't likely to keep, well, sorry for the pun, but they were never going to use that tag on him. They don't do that to players. They don't keep players here against they will. You saw them trade Hollywood. There were big time rumors behind the scenes that Away wanted out. He wanted a chance to go to a defense that would just let him eat. Saw that happen. Orlando Brown got traded. So the Ravens do right by their players in there. It's part of the reason they get so much respect out of free agents. They're upfront with their business. They're not going to keep Likely against his will. Likely's going to break the bank. Saw reports today that Charlie Kolar might command up to 10, 11 million, that he's becoming coveted. So it's going to be tough. Like to Afia's point, it's getting cutthroat out there. The Ravens have some work to do in that LAMAR contract. The LAMAR contract's important. Like, I didn't want push back. Like, I think Alex's points were valid, that he's not concerned. The Ravens will push the money around no matter what. But what I really want to see is Lamar being our quarterback throughout his prime, throughout the most of his career, to extend with the Ravens, to get that contract up over $60 million. He deserves to be the highest paid quarterback. And in the process, create all this cap room for us without future issues. It would just be easier for us. It would be, a good deal for Lamar. And maybe it'll get done and we're stressing over nothing. I remember when Ryan from the Flock Rundown was on with me and I was saying that, I was going to worry about it. And he, kind of downplay it, say, well, why wouldn't Lamar want more money? And it's because it's Lamar Jackson. He's on his own time. He does things his own way. And here we are, a handful of days out for free agency. And we got no word. And they're going to keep it quiet. It's not like Lamar's going to leak any information. EDC isn't going to leak any information. So yeah. Yeah, you did. You did call Kolar getting paid. JC, happy birthday to your son. I know it's the 10th. How old will he be? He will be 24 years old, my oldest, my first baby. What does he want to do for his birthday? Nothing. Well, can we do something? No. I want to do something. No. Well, maybe we can just order out. So that's all I've gotten from him. I know what it's like to be a young man. You don't want to celebrate your birthday. He's a low key, humble guy. He's not on any kind of like social media or anything like this. He just goes to work, goes to school, finished his coding, got his coding degree. So now he's getting ready to get a bump in pay and a new job. But yeah, you don't want to do nothing for his birthday, Heather. And that's really making Miss Huddled Up Films a little upset. But I mean, she's married to me. She knows what that's like. Jim 20 Eyes checking in. Things are crazy now, but I'd be very surprised if come September we don't field a strong, if imperfect roster as we always do, especially with what I heard from Steve Bisciotti, Jim. Like Bisciotti is not messing around. He wants to, like he said, if we got to, restructure, add void years, do whatever we got to do to build a roster here for Lamar Jackson's window. He's going to do it. That's what he wants done. I'm sure that's the directive he gave to EDC. You got a new head coach as well, 2 new coordinators as well. You want to give them weapons to work with so they can start establishing their culture, Jim. You don't want to shortchange a new coach and new head coach and new coordinators. I just can't help but to get anxious a little bit. Garnett saying the tight end draft is stacked, so he's not worried about it. Okay. Jason, you're right. 49, I'm 48. Okay. Yeah, we're same generation. So key remix, good seeing your name. It's a little draft talk here. Probably controversial, but if Ione is gone at 14, Vega Ione is the stud guard out of Penn State that I've been going to bat for. And we add a guard in free agency. I'd love to get Sadiq. Think he'd fit in well with Doyle. Doyle's offense, great blocker as well. So I'm going to read you. I have full paragraphs coming out on all these guys. It's something that you guys are going to enjoy. Doing a project. Not sure if I should be announcing this, but with Coach DC, where we get together and he's basically creating a website and I'm contributing to it. So I want you to read my initial report. This is after all the games that I've watched. One, Kenyon Sadiq. First of all, just the raw numbers on Sadiq. He's a tight end, 6'3", 241. He ran a 4.39 at the combine. Now I know that 40 times or 40 times they don't equate to play speed, but I can tell you one thing: you don't run a 4.39 40 if you're a slow player. Only fast people can run in the 4.3s. Kenyon Sadiq is fast. So here's what I had to say about him. Sadiq is the most complete tight end in this draft, and it's not particularly close. His arm and leg muscles have muscles. Play strength also shows at the catch point, through contact, and with his blocking. His foot quickness really stands out. Sadiq can body up a DB and separate quickly with lean and a break, even if he's covered well. He just basically leans into these dudes and can kind of give them a little arm chevy. He is gone. He's quick. You can split him out as a big wide receiver or use him in line. I love him on the wing where he can block at different levels of the defense or run routes. His wheel routes and seam routes are big plays waiting to happen. He's a matchup nightmare with the NFL going more to 12 personnel and safeties at nickel. He's NFL ready as a move blocker. He should be able to handle inline duties versus DNs right away, but his technique should improve there. He's also not the longest blocker, so he's going to have good technique if you're going to ask him to block in line like a Charlie Kolar. He can also improve his spacing in and feel for zone. So I've seen him drift a little bit when he's in the zone, kind of run into defenders. I like to see him get better at settling in there. Drops were reported on other scouting reports, but I didn't see an issue with his hands in the games I watched. First round tight end all day in this draft. Would be surprised if he made it to pick 20 in the games that I watched of Kenyon Sadiq, USC, Texas Tech, Oklahoma State, Northwestern, and James Madison. So for my channel members and for those coming to the channel for draft content, that's the kind of look you're going to get at every single player. I'm going to do as many as I can. I shouldn't overstate it and say every single player, but I'm going to have a good amount of write-ups like this for players at every position. So you can get a real feel for what they do in the game. It's one thing to be like, yeah, he's a tight end, good receiver, and he can block. But you can see I'm going to outline it for you all the time. That is my write-up on Kenyon Sadiq. So, yeah, key remix. At 14, a lot of people won't like it. They wouldn't like taking a tight end at 14. I personally think that there's going to be players higher on my board than Kenyon Sadiq when we pick at 14. The big board will be coming out in about a week. Just trying to finish my studies there and make sure it is right before I put it out. But Kenyon Sadiq, if we book him at 14, I mean, this is your Isaiah Likely replacement right away. And he can build himself into a complete tight end that you can ask to block in line, or you can use him like, like a Ricard with receiving skills. Obviously, he's not going to bring the power that Ricard has, but as far as the move blocking that Ricard likely does, he can do that. But you're looking at a 4.39 guy, quick feet, good receiver, strong hands. I think he had like 10-inch hands or something crazy. So yeah, for those of you tuning in for the draft, that's what the next month is going to be about. Once we finish this free agency, the big board is coming up. Got a compilation with Coach DC from all 22 films. It's going to be an exciting time. And those of you who followed the channel for a long time know how natural it comes to me. It's my strength in the football community is being able to scout guys and how they're going to translate to the NFL. So very confident in my evaluations. I'm going to be wrong like everybody else, but you're going to get good information. Okay. Yeah, Dario, you're going to love it, bro. You're going to love all the draft. And I'm going to give, especially my channel members, access to these notes right away as soon as I finish them up. So I have a ton of notes. I'm just putting them in paragraph professional form, like the ones I just read to you. Thank you, Dario. Appreciate it, buddy. I just want the draft to be here already. Rome, we got to finish free agency first, though, bro. We got to get busy in this free agency. We've got to add so we can go into this draft free, to where if Kenyon Sadiq is the best player on the board, we don't have to say, oh, well, we better draft a edge rusher that's not as good as Sadiq because we need an edge. We have none. Like, this is why we got to get busy with free agency so we can just draft the best player available and forget about reaching for a need. Yeah, Will Disley, good player. I haven't studied him much, but anytime I've seen him on TV, he seems like a dependable guy. I think he was battling some injuries, though, Jay-Z. Zhang, thank you very much. I'm going to work really hard. I'm doing it, inspired by you guys, the channel members who have began to support, and all the people who watch on replay and watch every week. I want to give you the best draft analysis there is out there. Doing the big board every year and being accurate with the big board and the positional rankings is one thing, but I want you to get a good idea of who these guys are. And I'm going to have them all in one spot so you don't have to keep clicking from page to page to page to page. I think I'm just going to put them on one spreadsheet, share it with you guys. You'll have the tabs down there and be able to just click away. Very welcome, ISO. I love it, brother. I love it. Like, it's my passion. Heather, I see the word shirt. I'm waiting on my shirt I ordered. Can't wait to rep your channel. I'm going to wear my shirt and bag. Yeah, you can't wear. Well, yeah, I guess you do. You got the bag over your shoulder. Okay. I was going to try to pick on your choice of words there. I have VP. No, it's all love, man. Thank you so much. And, Heather, nobody has sent me a picture. Now, when Alec came over and got his shirt from me, he made me take a picture, which I don't like. So I definitely understand those of you who don't want to send me a picture of you in your Huddled Up Films merch. Mike M, we don't need a tight end in the first round. That's right. We don't. We can wait till the third round. That's for sure. But I don't even know if there's going to be 14 players better than Sadiq. They said, I think there will be on the board. And of course, if you're picking 14, the odds of the first 13 going in order and you being stuck with your 14 guys is next to nothing. That happened once with the Ravens, as we know of. And that guy was Ed Reed. So maybe I'll read you another evaluation for a tight end. Eli Stowers, he is out of Vanderbilt, a fascinating guy in his own right. You're talking about somebody with ultra receiver capabilities and somebody I think can do more at the next level. Now, Eli Stowers, like all these tight ends are between 6'3" and 6'5", and 240 and 250 pounds. It's like they made them in a lab. If you're between 6'3" and 6'5" and weigh about 240, 250 pounds, you're going to play either two positions in the NFL. Offense, tight end, defense, edge rusher. Like you look at the heights and weights of these guys, and it's so robotic and Yeah, I can see why it's a turnoff to a lot of people that sports have gotten so specific and scientific, where you used to have all different body types of guys, and you still do. I mean, it is still professional football, but you see the heights and weights of these guys; they're all so similar. But Eli Stowers out of Vanderbilt, he's a little bit older. He's 23 years old, 6'4", 239, long arm dude, 32 and 5/8 arms. So that's offensive lineman. He'd be a good guard. Maybe he can get by a tackle. Here is my valuation of him. Eli Stowers, for a converted quarterback with only 3 years experience at tight end, Stowers has an elite feel in the receiving game. Really nice feel for space in zones. So he can settle in those zones like Mark Andrews, feel the space in between the defenders. He's crafty in his one-on-one routes. Play speed is very good for a tight end. He ran a 4.51, by the way. I would say that's pretty apt, like a fast tight end. Long strider can cover some ground when he has space, shows some lateral ability in his yak, but he's a north-south runner with a sidewinder style who spins, twists, and turns for yak. So, yeah, he's got a little juke to him, but mainly, as a tight end, he's spinning, twisting, turning for his yak and fights for it. Stowers has the physical ability and mental savvy to be a productive pro. He should be able to do more in the NFL than he did in college with a better system and a stronger, taller, better quarterback. Yeah, he was working with Diego Pavia. So it was a 5'9" quarterback, a lot of holding the ball, a lot of off-schedule stuff. I think that caused Eli Stowers some production at Vanderbilt. You put him in a pro system with a pro quarterback, I think his numbers are going to be even better. Catch radius is NFL legit, and his measurables show it on the field with O-line-like arms and a record-setting 45.5-inch vertical jump for Eli Stowers. Basketball player hop. It was a record-setting vert. I think it was like the highest in years. 45.5-inch vert for this tight end, Eli Stowers, who's a converted quarterback, only 3 years experience at tight end. Needs to add play strength to avoid getting beat up through routes and at the catch point. You're not drafting him to block. Blocking is a pure projection, and he doesn't look comfortable doing it. So Stowers is probably going to be the second, third, fourth tight end off the board. Maybe he goes in round 2. Maybe he goes in round 3. But just to give you guys another taste of the evaluations that we have coming out, that's what's going to be coming up on the channel. So important week for the Ravens. Free agency starting. Will LAMAR sign? Where's Linderbaum going? How many of our own guys are we bringing back? Can we make a splash at edge rusher? Can we fill out this offensive line? Will we be active in the first wave of free agency? Like when we come back on Wednesday, I expect me to say, hey, the Ravens have signed this person and that person. And they did it in the first day of free agency. That's what I want to be able to say next Wednesday. So as always, I want to say thank you, my football family. I love my football family. A little bit shorter episode tonight. No co-host with me right now. And I have some work to do on this draft. So love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you, Heather, for the super chat. And we'll catch you again next time. Football is family, guys. Love you so much.